drop top. You can't even see him on camera.
Look at this.
Obviously, your suits didn't arrive on time.
I wish you would.
Back then, you could buy a lot of chicken for $5.
And all that sauce.
17's my number. Now you all have the passwords to my computer and everything.
Okay, welcome back to Unsportsmanlike content across all the Maple Leaf platforms on a very special Indigenous celebration game here at Scotiabank Arena in downtown Toronto. We want to welcome you if you're watching from inside the bowl here at Scotiabank as well. A very special guest. This is a thrill for both Mayday and myself as we welcome John Shannon to the program. How are you?
You know, I used to love watching you as a kid because you were great. And Brad, he was one of my favorite players when I was like 12.
Oh, I love it, John. I love
Just dating yourself the other way. I like it. Benjamin Button with us here tonight. That is fantastic. John, it is so great to see you. I'm so glad that we get to do this. I won't bore anybody, but this is special for me because the last time I did a regional show at Sportsnet, it was with the two of you. I had said goodbye. This was years ago. This is going way back. I've since returned and left again, but the three of us sharing some microphones and some stories. I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for doing this. For those of you who don't know, and you should, a legend in the television business, long time, I'm going to get all the titles wrong, but executive producer, the guy who was behind and instrumental to Hockey Night in Canada and so many programs that you knew and loved through Hockey Night in Canada and all of the biggest names that the program ever produced. It was because of you driving that program and maybe even driving some of the talent batty. Fair? You were hard, Shanny.
I don't think I was that hard.
Okay, we'll take a break. Here's some great photos. Take a look and take us through because these are great memories.
So that's 1985. That, by the way, that's 1995.
Okay.
That's Kelly Rudy with the beautiful hair.
That flow.
Ron McLean on the left. Doug Gilmore. That's the first time Hockey Night in Canada has ever had a studio show. We used to do everything from the arena all the time.
Yeah.
That's 1983. I'm on the right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's Ralph Mellenby, the legendary, my predecessor as executive producer. Larry Brown, the director. That was the first time the Edmonton Oilers went to the Stanley Cup. This is my favorite shot of all time because this is February of 1999, the last game ever played at Maple Leaf Gardens. And we had just posed for a picture for the Hockey Night in Canada crew, and I was the last guy off the ice, and somebody snapped this and sent it to me. And that's 1985 again.
Legendary Blue Jackets.
How about the baby Blue Jackets? Did they look any good or what? Don Whitman, John Davidson. And again, here's my old friendship. That's Herb Brooks, Miracle on Ice, and John Davidson, friends of mine. That's in Los Angeles. We're trying to solve all the problems of hockey in the United States.
Long table, big dinner, a few cocktails. John, even some...
That's a young John Shannon. I peaked early, and now I've just leveled off.
Well, you're still going in this business, and you're going across the country, and you're telling stories, you're evaluating what you're seeing, you still got the television mind and eye, and you're, in a lot of National Hockey League markets, sharing with their media your expertise, not just from a standpoint of the business, but actual analysis of the game and the players.
So I do a lot of work in Winnipeg, I do a lot of work in Edmonton, and I do tons of work in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I live in Toronto. I just can't get a job in Toronto. That's the
problem. What are you talking about? You get a sweet gig right here. We don't pay as much.
Hey, listen.
No, I had my 6 years at Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment.
Yes.
People, it's a long time ago now, 25 years ago, we launched a TV channel called Leafs TV. It doesn't exist anymore. We also launched a basketball channel that still exists that I'm very proud of. That we basically, I was employee number one. And for 6 years, we really changed the landscape of television in Southern Ontario because people realized that the Maple Leafs could actually do their own games and put games on television. And so the rights fees went from $75,000 to $100,000 a game to millions. And that was because of the leverage that my boss at the time, Richard Petty, created when we launched Leafs TV. And so we had our own studios, we had our own staff. It was we had a blank slate.
It was fantastic.
And by the way, we had no money, and so you had to be totally inventive and totally creative. Things like Game in an Hour, which cost nothing, basically became things we stood for. It was a fun time to be in the business.
Well, I can tell you, with all your labels and titles that you've had, John, I want to tell you, I'm going to give you mentor. I'm going to give you that label mentor for many of us, but for myself, I wouldn't be standing here, I don't believe, if I didn't have that opportunity many years ago to sit beside you at Hockey Central and with Sportsnet for a number of years, John, and not to mention radio shows as well. I learned a lot about, obviously, the other side of the camera. And
what's the best piece of advice he gave you? I think I might know.
No, you know what? It wasn't even advice.
No?
As you said, John's tough. John's tough. He's demanding. He expects excellence, and he expects.
Folks, it's not that bad, okay?
But you expect.
It's good. It's a good thing.
Preparation. So
Oh, yeah,
the one
see
thing
that-
I would say is over preparation. You have to over prepare. You're never going to get to all those things, but you have to be ready for whatever question or wherever this conversation deviates to. And I appreciate that, John.
I used to joke with people, what are you going to do now? I says, I'm going to go home and practice my ad-libs. And so, like, this is my 50th year in the business.
Unreal.
50 years. The first 35 were behind the camera. Producer, director, Olympics, whatever. Only the last 15 years, after I left the National Hockey League, I hired to be a broadcaster and to be an announcer. And so from that perspective, I've done it backwards to what most people have thought. Usually it's the other way around. You start as an announcer and then you become an executive. I started as an executive and became an announcer.
Was that a weird transition for you, or was it as natural as it might seem for those who
anybody
watch
who
you?
knows me,
Yeah.
I had always wanted to be an announcer. I couldn't get a job. So, way back when, I drove across the country doing audition tapes and throwing things out and trying to get a job as an announcer. And when I came back to Toronto, I got a job offer to be an associate producer at Hockey Night in Canada in the late 70s. And then I got promoted, and somebody said, we got so many teams in Western Canada, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vancouver, Calgary. Anybody want to move west? And I put my hand up. And so I ended up getting all these teams to produce and work and travel, and then it coincided with Vancouver going to the Stanley Cup Final, Edmonton going to the Stanley Cup Final, Calgary going to the Stanley Cup Final for all these years, for more than a decade.
What a run.
What a run. Right place at the right time.
Couldn't do it without the players, though, could you?
Yeah, here's the other magical thing about it, Ryan, and you would appreciate this. So many players on those four teams are still friends, because it was at a different time and a place in the development of the NHL. We were all probably making the same amount of money.
Let me ask you this, and we'll get into so many things, including today's game and tonight's game. A specific example. What are you most proud of? Be it a game, not just not a blanket. I could look and say, oh, Hockey Night in Canada, I get it. But is there something that you could point to, an Olympics where something happened, either in the truck, in the studio, a relationship with somebody in this business, an athlete? What are you most proud of when you look at your career right now?
I have different levels. Off the top of my head, I think the legacy that we have left.
Right.
When I started, there wasn't a doubleheader at Hockey Night in Canada. It was only one game.
Wild.
We went to a doubleheader.
So you're the reason why I worked every Saturday night starting at 8 o'clock.
That's why you got the fee. I used to, by the way, it used to be 8:30. The first couple of years.
A lot of times
was
it still is with every ceremony under the sun.
There was no pregame show for Hockey Night. So we did that. There was no postgame show, no after hours. So we built all of that one way or the other. Hockey Day in Canada is something which is going to celebrate its 25th year this year. Is something that I really am very proud of, and what we've done across the country with it, and celebrating the game of hockey for everybody. So that's thing. Yeah, but in the end, it's the people. The magic of the telephone now. The magic of it is that I can sit at home and watch 13 games at night and be able to text a friend in the broadcast booth or the producer and saying, why are you doing this? Remember this story so that it can make their broadcast better.
As somebody who has received a couple of texts over the years from you, I love it because it's a reminder. You kind of get the tunnel vision on, and it's great to have an expert mind sort of check in with you and go, hey, did you consider this?
Right.
Hey, why are you telling that?
And I tell you what,
I love it.
once the lights come on, the microphones come on, and the game goes, you get tunnel vision. And so you need outside voices to remind you of what's really going on. And the other part of it, and not to make this a broadcast lesson, but the other part of this is we got to remember every time who we're doing this for. We're not doing this for the coach. We're not doing this for the manager. We're not doing it for the owner. We're doing it for the viewer. And the viewer has to be able to sit there and say, wow, that's the coolest thing I've heard today.
Right.
And if you can do that 3 times a game, you can have the viewer at home or the listener go, wow, then you've done your job.
We will say goodbye to those watching inside Scotiabank Arena. I think we're going to pause and let you get to the in-house programming. We're going to continue on here. And John, you talked just about coast to coast. You've talked about Toronto and you went out west, that type of thing. I wonder, and you grew up listening to Jim Robson. He was a big part of your childhood. He was a broadcaster in Vancouver who I think most know of, a Hall of Famer, and then you got a chance to work with him. How many times can you say in your career, you always admired that guy from afar, maybe a player, and certainly a broadcaster, and then you got to work with him? You've got countless examples.
Well, and to be accepted by them
big thing
is a bigger part. You can work with somebody and then not really have an influence or be influenced, but for them to actually say, yes, John, I understand what you're trying to do, and we can try to make it better. And Jim Robson, who's still a dear friend, still alive at a little over 90 years old, living in Vancouver, is a mentor of mine. But I did the same. I was lucky enough with Dave Hodge, who hosted Hockey Night for so many years. Same thing with Dan Kelly, Danny Gallivan, Dick Irvin. I have had the ability to deal with Hall of Famers all this time, guys that have made a huge impact, and I'm along for the ride. Yeah. I'm having a good time. This is, I grew up in a house full of sports. My brothers love sports. My mom and dad love sports, and they're in awe of my career because they don't think I've worked a day in my life. That all I have done is watch sports and talk to famous people. And so that's the big part. That's the most exciting part of what we've done.
So in hockey, would your favorite weekend be the Hockey Hall of Fame?
It's one of my favorite nights.
Because I know we've done it together.
One of my favorite ones.
And you get to see a lot of your old friends.
So my 2 favorite days used to be Hall of Fame Monday, because nobody's worried about winning and losing that night. It's a celebration of the game and people. And the old draft system, like the in-house draft, when all 32 teams now, but I remember when my first draft I went to, I think there was only 21. So all of the teams are in the same room, and you're talking, and you get to rub elbows with everybody from every team.
Yeah,
and
that's a big one.
It's like a political convention, and
You think they'll go back to it, John? In time?
No.
Never?
No, I just think that there's so much information. No, costs must. There's so much information available in your offices, and you can have 40 people at your table, and you can actually leave the room and go and find some more. There's just better information flow for each team.
You know the power of face-to-face making a deal. Now, that may not be the impetus.
I don't think that's a factor.
That's not.
I'm
just saying that I think GMs, I don't think it's a factor, but I think it's, you talk about the viewer and that weekend, that's what the viewers love. The suspense and the mystique and the possibility of a deal. And if we're doing it for the viewers, if they care about viewership, I'll be curious to see after 5 years of the way it is today, if there's a dip, if it holds, if it's stronger.
I think there won't be a dip. I think the hardcore fan in the middle of June watches hockey, period. It'll get you, in this country, 500,000 people, no matter how they do the draft.
Yeah.
But I
selfishly,
think the teams,
I love the old way.
So do I.
Yeah.
I loved it. But I think the teams really, for the most part, love the isolation. They can yell at each other. They have conversations without worrying the other table heard them.
You can do more work. You can be more effective as far as the draft.
You can actually be more efficient with your job.
We're just checking names off the list with the fantasy draft, right? Yeah. Hey, why don't you tell us? What do you got there?
No. This is actually this is your copy.
Oh, thank you.
So this has been on bookshelves for a couple of years now.
Yeah, but it's never too late.
Right here, Armando. Right here.
For those who haven't read it,
Indigo, and it's still on Amazon. I checked this morning; it's still on Amazon. So
Evolve or Die. Where does that come from?
I was asked to write a book. I've been asked to write a book 5 or 6 times, and I refused. But it just so happened the last time they said, here's what we want you to do, and it was about 3 months before COVID started. So writing the book got me out of bed during COVID. And it's a little bit about the game and the people in the game and all the different things that I've done in the game. If you like the game of hockey, there's lots of names in it you'll understand and appreciate. Lots of people. I won't do another one.
No?
No.
Evolve or die.
But it's called Evolve or Die, and the reason is because
I remember you used to say that all the time
I
with
did.
the phone and
I've
technology.
I've always believed in that.
Yeah.
I've always believed in, because you have to be able to change. You know, and one of the reasons that I've survived in this business this long is that I've had to evolve. You know, I've gone from running television shows to being on television shows to being on radio shows to being fired, and now I'm doing podcasts, and I love my podcast.
Yeah.
You know, I do a couple of podcasts, 100% Hockey, 100% Canucks, that are hugely fun to do, great storytelling, not very hard work because you sit and do this for an hour. Life good. Brad's actually been on 100% Canucks.
Yes.
As a former Canuck, he got on. You know, if he hadn't been a Canuck.
You know, it was great too.
He wouldn't make it.
I got to go on, and Landon Ferrero, Ray's son, who actually I crossed paths with as a player my last month of hockey
In Grand Rapids.
As a professional, I got sent down to the Grand Rapids Griffins, and Landon came, and we played together on a line, and it was really cool because back in 1996, for Team Canada in the World Championships, I played with Landon's father, Ray, and we won a silver medal. So it was pretty cool.
The part that fascinated me about that conversation was that Landon was quite intimidated with Brad. And I'm going, why are you intimidated by that guy?
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm just a lover, John.
Yeah.
I love my teammates.
Well, it's a perfect place to segue into tonight's game. The Canucks in town to take on the Leafs. I know it's not the season folks in Vancouver want, but there's all kinds of intrigue with the organization. We've got a former Canuck and a man who knows the market. Let's talk about the matchup tonight, what we see, and I'll just open it up to both of you about maybe what we expect to see tonight. I don't know if you'd consider this a trap game if you're the Leafs or not, because they've got all kinds of momentum. You don't want to look at the standings. I don't think anybody is or can afford to. But what stands out about the matchup tonight, guys?
Well, for me, Vancouver's not a very good team, and they haven't played, consistently well enough. Toronto needs to win this game. It's a big moment. Obviously, they're right on the cusp, a couple points out of a playoff spot. This is a game out of conference. Out of division, the other conference. Toronto needs this game at home. But you know what? When you're on the road for a team like Vancouver, you have nothing to lose. You're trying to build something together and find that spark. This is a dangerous game because Vancouver has talented players. They can put it all together. And you know what? Their goaltenders have been very good for them. The question is, can Toronto sustain that attack and the pressure in the offensive zone?
Well, first of all, the Vancouver Canucks will work hard tonight. The one thing, if you go to the game, if you watch on TV, you'll never complain that the Canucks don't work hard. They will work hard. The challenge is that the depth of talent isn't what it should be for this hockey team. Their high-end guys haven't had good years. Pettersson hasn't had a good year. Besser hasn't had a good year. Keith Sherwood has been okay, but perhaps the stress of the contract discussions have played a role in him the last little while. The guys they got in the trade for Quinn Hughes, William has been very good.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Will be.
And Liam Ogren is a young Swede. He's been pretty impressive in his short period of time.
What do we think of Rossi?
Well, he's injured right now, but he will be okay. But he's they thought he could be a second line center. I'm not so sure. The fascination for me is the Canucks had the day off yesterday, complete day off, beautiful day weather-wise in southern Ontario. They will be re-energized. There is something special still about playing the Toronto Maple Leafs on a Saturday night on national television.
Yeah.
And darn well that will be a difference. They will shock you how hard they work, but they're just not deep enough. They're just not deep enough, and that will be a huge problem for the Canucks if the Maple Leafs can play as intensely as they did, for instance, in Philadelphia on Thursday night.
They will welcome back Willie Nylander, which is a huge boost. You wonder, what impact that will have to the lineup. He'll play on that second line alongside Michelli and John Tavares. So that's how we'll see those that trio. We expect Jake McCabe to get into the lineup, which is fantastic, considering that Brandon Carlo is back, a couple of games under his belt. And, you're going to see Chris Tanev out for some time. If you can get McCabe back, you start to feel better. You get some key additions with a group, as we mentioned, has all kinds of momentum. What have you noticed, John, about the way that the Leafs are going about their business during this streak, if you will?
There's an old saying, the power of positive thinking. Sure. Things have changed here. I think a lot of it rests on the shoulders of Auston Matthews. I think you see Auston Matthews enjoying himself again.
There's a smile. And why not?
Yeah.
He's playing well.
And playing well. And all of a sudden, when Auston Matthews is playing well,
trickle down.
The rest of the team is playing well. And so that's a big factor in all of this. Whether it's beating Matt Sundin's record or just being the team leader that he's expected to be, he has become a factor.
Wild when you think about the fact that in Detroit he blocked that shot. At that moment I thought, uh-oh, this could be a problem with his foot, right? Yes. Comes back shortly thereafter. Well, he would return to that game, but he didn't miss a significant amount of time, and then has just kind of skyrocketed ever since.
Well, no, I actually go back to the Chicago game here, down 2-0, crowds on them, things are not looking very good.
Winnipeg.
And then he steals the puck, scores the goal, and does the ear. The world has changed since then, because that was almost like, I'm going to take this team over. Everybody, you better get on my back, and life is going to be good. And that really has changed the whole thing. You combine that with changing the coaching staff, exactly what's happened. There is a lot more positive energy coming out of this hockey club. A lot more. It's amazing. Winning begats energy. Positive energy begats winning. And it becomes, I don't have to tell you.
It's infectious.
It is.
It really is, yes.
And that's, on the other side, that's what the Canucks are facing. The Canucks, who have had really good times at points this season, can't win at home, which is another story for another day. But they just get themselves into ruts, and right now they're in a tough spot. They couldn't win in Buffalo, had a tough time in the last game they played. So I mean, it's a difficult situation.
Well, you talk about that positivity, and it goes up and down the Leaf lineup. You could talk about the addition of Troy Stecher, which has been a breath of fresh air. You're seeing depth guys, and Scotty Laughton's stealing all the headlines of late.
That was a great story Thursday night.
Fantastic in Philadelphia, right? He gets the shorthanded goal to tie things up, and then the face-offs, 19 for 20 at the dot, where it all started for him. That was wonderful, and so now you've got this momentum. We talked about Brandon Carlo making his return, and this morning I had a chance to chat with him. Okay, a couple of games back for you. How have you felt? I mean, you had to go almost 2 months watching and waiting and going through everything that you went through. How tough was that, and how does it feel after a couple of games?
It feels great to be back. I think through the whole time I kept a positive attitude, and that's all I really had control of at the moment. So coming back in the lineup, though, and getting a couple wins, being back with the group has been a lot of fun for me, and something I've been waiting for the past 2 months. So like I said, it feels really good to be back.
How difficult was it to kind of go through that? You've been public about what you went through in terms of the foot, the ankle, the infection, all of that. So how difficult was that to kind of wait and wonder? Like so many other injuries, you don't know, but to kind of have it kind of pile up must have been tough.
Yeah, it was a process. For me, I was just trusting the doctors, kind of taking it day at a time. I could tell, initially with the infection and whatnot that I wasn't feeling great at that point, couldn't really put my boot on and whatnot. But aside from that, I just took the medical advice, and they did a great job here guiding me through it all. And there was some bumps in the road for sure, but overall, I'm really happy with where we're at now. And all I can ask for is a happy, healthy person and a happy, healthy family. So there's a lot to be blessed for.
Hey, your teammates will say it's so great to have you back because obviously a big body, a veteran defender back there. And Jake was just saying you're a vocal guy out there as well. Do you feel as though the other aspects of your game, that comfort, that confidence, and everything that you do bring has returned as well? Yeah, no, I think so. From watching, you get a different perspective of the game, and it looks kind of easy from up top, but when you're in it, it's a little bit harder for sure. So just trying to watch guys like Kaber, Tanny when he's in the lineup, Mo, these guys that just have really good composure. That was what I was trying to do through those 20 games, was take the opportunity to learn, not just watch the games, but learn from the games
games as well. So I felt like I did do a good job in that regard, and I'm trying to bring that confidence with me as I come back in.
Well, what have you liked most about the way the group's gone about its business, including you returning the last couple, but just the idea of picking up points and maybe playing from the outside, a style that looks it's a little bit more what you guys are accustomed to?
For sure. I think we're in every night. We're in every game now, and whether that be starting out very strong defensively and keeping it a low-scoring game. But overall, I think our team game is just kind of coming around. You can see it on the ice, the vocalness. You can hear guys a little bit better. Just that connectedness is starting to click a little bit more. I don't think it's from lack of effort, but just all of us kind of coming together a little bit more and being a little bit more louder, engaged, has been really helpful for this group.
All right, there is Brandon Carlo, kind enough to chat with me this morning. Great to see him back in the lineup. Boy, you think about that. He's missed almost 2 months, just about 2 months out of that with that ankle and the infection with it. And he had plates in there, so obviously he's getting himself up to speed, and a valuable member on that blue line who need, everybody, all hands on deck, healthy. No, and they haven't had both goalies at the same time either. So it's wild.
I must admit, I've become a Hilderby fan. I truly have.
I have too.
I mean, he's
made you a bit of a believer?
Yes. I watched him with the Marlies, and I didn't think he was that good. And boy, oh boy, he's using 6'7" pretty well.
Yeah, he is. All right, we've got a couple of minutes left. I want to get to a couple of things. The Olympics. The Toronto Maple Leafs will send 2 Swedish players, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Willie Nylander, and 1 American player, the captain, Austin Matthews. And I do want to get a thought on Austin Matthews and the record, John, as somewhat of a historian of the game. But let's just talk quickly about the Olympics. Who do you like? It's obviously a Canada-U.S., or does somebody else sneak in there and catch your eye?
Well, if we haven't learned anything from the World Junior, we better learn something from the World Junior. I think that there are 5 teams that could win the gold medal.
Okay.
Czechia, Finland, Sweden, Canada, the United States. And that's not discounting what the Germans with Leon Draisaitl and Tim Stützle can do. That's not to say that the Swiss, Roman Josi and his crew can do. This is an unbelievably deep tournament. This is the deepest Olympic tournament I have ever seen because of the growth of the game across the world. That's what makes it fantastic. Once you get to the quarterfinals, there's no best-of-7 series. It's one and done. And so you have to be ready, finish your round robin, be ready in the quarterfinal. You cannot take a night off. That's why anybody can win this tournament.
Of the 3 players, who has the most dominant Olympic games?
Oh, William Nylander. I think William Nylander's built for Olympic hockey. I think he's built to play for Sweden. I think William Nylander, it's funny, Ryan, I don't know if you were with the company then, but when they went and played in Sweden, how much pride Nylander and poise Nylander had about going home and playing in front of the Swedish audiences. William Nylander, it could be a huge factor in this Olympic tournament.
I agree. I love the player. He gets me out of my seat. He's just beautiful to watch. And when he plays for his country, he starts throwing his weight around, knocking guys. I remember him going to the World Championships, and he was the best player on the ice. For me, I was at the World Juniors. I was there for 5 or 6 days in Minneapolis, and talking about the global game. Canada's never been the most skilled team outside of the top players, right? What we've always had is
work ethic.
The work ethic, the pride, and the desire to do whatever it takes to win. Do we still have that within our group in Canada? I'm asking you.
Any team with Sid Crosby on it? Absolutely right. Absolutely right. But here's the thing.
Because it is a skilled tournament.
I got 90 seconds.
We have exported that to other countries.
Yeah.
We have, when everybody comes, the Czech juniors, there's 16 kids playing in the CHL. Everybody knows how to play this game at the same level. Everybody has the same will now to win that we had.
I got to jump in real quick before we get off the air. You were just in St. Louis to chat with Kelly Chase, Brett Hull. You know this story, and you know those gentlemen. We know Chaser's battling, and we want to send him our best thoughts right now. Quick thought on where you were on the podcast.
Yeah, so I flew to St. Louis yesterday. I was there for less than 24 hours with Brett Hull and Kelly Chase, and Matthew Barnaby joined us as well. Incredible person, Kelly Chase. What he's done for not the communities he's lived in St. Louis, he's a hero. He's raising money while he's battling his own awful battle with cancer. He's raising hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe eclipsing $1 million. And with his games that he's played. He's got it's a McLaren or some really like incredible sports car that he's got decaled out with 160 pictures of St. Louis Blues players. He's going to raffle this car off for $500,000. I think they're $100 tickets, and St. Louis is going to get behind him. Kelly Chase is an amazing guy, and I'm so thankful that he invited me out.
Heart and soul guy. The people in St. Louis, the Show Me State, they absolutely love him. But the thing is that that's what hockey people are.
That's right.
Kelly Chase reflects a good old Saskatchewan boy.
Gotta go. We're thinking of you, Chaser. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. John Shannon's book, you can still find it at most great outlets.
This is my
Evolve or
mentor.
Die. He is
This
the
is my
best.
guy.
And Mayday, John, thank you so much for the conversation tonight.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the game. Canucks, Leafs, next.